Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Now this one is going to be for my Xbox 360 collection. I've threatened to do one for a long time, but I figured that A, because I've got a lot of games now, and B, more importantly, that it's the end of the year, so it's a great time to kind of do this, like a cleansing, to get it out of the way. I figured it's the best time to do it, given that the new year is less than a week away, and obviously Christmas Day is 24 hours away. So I hope you like the collection. I've had to split it up into 4 parts because I thought that watching one continuous video of a screensaver kicks in, fantastic. One continuous video of an hour of me talking might be a little bit boring. And yeah, so I thought I'll split it into 4 parts. That way you can watch each and every one of the parts whenever you want. So yeah, that's all I want to say. Check out the games, see what I've got, see what I haven't got. If there's some things you think I should have, which I haven't yet got, then do recommend them to me and I'll check them out, and if they're cheap enough, I'll buy them. Or maybe people might want to do a trade or something in the future. I guess that's all stuff for another day. But in the meantime, just enjoy the videos, see what you think of my collection thus far, and once again, and I'm sure I mentioned it in the video anyway, but I'll say it again here, have a fantastic Christmas and an amazing New Year, and I'll see you all, presuming I don't do another video between now and the New Year, which I probably will. But if I don't, then have a fantastic New Year, and I will see you in 2011. Take it easy. See you later. Right then, guys. So as promised, here is my 360 collection so far. There's quite a few. It probably doesn't look it, but there's, I think, 130 something, or pretty much near that figure. But when it's all compact in a case like this, like a bookshelf, it doesn't really look as if it's that many, or to me anyway. But there are a lot. As I say, about 130, give or take. So let's start off going from, let's start at the beginning. I guess that's probably the best way to start. Now, these are all in alphabetical order. Not much to say about this one. It's just an Xbox Live compilation disc. It obviously came with the Xbox, but I've just not really given it a crack. Speaking of not giving it a crack, this is going to be like a regular theme, actually. The amount of games I buy on release day and then just never get around to playing them, or when I do, because obviously I inevitably do, but it's usually maybe 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months after I bought it. So that's going to be one of my 2011 gaming resolutions. It's going to be not to buy a release day game unless I know for a fact that I'm going to play it straight away and really enjoy it. Because this is a prime example, the next one up here, Alan Wake. Now, obviously a lot of hype about this game when it first came out. And, you know, in the preceding years before it was due to come out, you know, it received a lot of attention. And so I pre-ordered it and then got it and just simply haven't got around to playing it. So, which is quite ridiculous because it's meant to be a great game. But I will eventually, but it just highlights the case because, you know, I paid like $60 for that, and now you can probably get it for, what, 20, 25 maybe? Possibly even less. So I've really got to start thinking about how I use my money on games with a little bit more sense than I currently apply. Next one up is Aliens vs Predator. Now, I've got to be honest, just incredibly disappointed with this game. Now, I am a bit of a big, not to the point of obsessive, but a bit of a big Aliens fan when it comes to the movies. Certainly the first 2 are great anyway. But this game, I mean, is just pretty rubbish. There isn't, for me, I felt the biggest thing it was lacking was like a zoom feature. So if an enemy's running towards you, you can't zoom in. So you're always like firing from the hip, which in one sense you might think is great because it kind of adds to the atmosphere. Which to a degree I guess it does, but it's just a little bit silly. You'd have thought really if you got these bloody aliens running towards you, you should at least sometimes, you know, have a bit of composure and zoom, you know, down the sights to polish them off. But the game doesn't have that, as far as I can work out anyway. No zoom feature, which I think is a little bit silly. I mean, I only completed. I only played maybe a couple of levels, and I will get back into it. But, you know, first impressions are usually, you know, a really good gauge of how good a game is, and my first impressions of Alien vs Predator were not great. Now, next one up here is Alone in the Dark, bit of survival horror-based game, not one that I played for a long time. I enjoyed it somewhat, but yeah, for me it's not up there with the likes of the Resident Evils and whatever else from that genre. But not a bad little game, but very cheap. Cheap as chips these days. So, yeah, more like a stocking filler, if you like. Next up is Assassin's Creed. Now, this is, whichever way you want to look at it, a great game. Now, I haven't actually played this for the best part of a couple of years. Reason being, it's a bit of a silly excuse really, but when I first played it back in the UK, I got pretty far in the game. I think maybe even 3/4 of the way complete, and I lost the save, or I think I changed my gamer tag maybe about 3 years ago, and the old save was on that gamer tag, which means obviously on my new one I have to start again, and I just can't be bothered at this moment in time. But oh well, I'll get back into it eventually. But I've been pretty pleased with myself actually, because I haven't bought Assassin's Creed 2, and I haven't got the Brotherhood game as well, or whatever else is out for Assassin's Creed, because you know, I haven't completed that one, so I don't want to ruin it by playing the sequels first. So I'm going to get back into that, and then buy Assassin's Creed 2, and then any more. You know, do it that way, which is pretty sensible. Next one up is a double pack. It's Batman, and on one side, and on the other, it's Pure. Now, I'll talk more about Pure in a second, because further on down in the collection, I've got the full price game. Batman, I've actually never played it. I've never played the Lego version of Batman. I'm sure it's a laugh. I don't know if you can see on the front there, $4.95. So that was a bargain. Silly price. And that's dollars as well, so that's about £3, which I thought was a great price. Now, actually, when I say I've never played Batman, that's quite a common theme with a lot of my games. You know, I tend to really... I don't know why, in this day and age, I tend to buy a game and not really play it. It just becomes like part of the collection, which is a little bit silly, and I plan for that to be a bit of a resolution as well. You know, actually play the games that I buy, rather than just buying them, sticking on the shelf, and, you know, just being like another statistic. But as a result, at this moment in time, a lot of these games I haven't really played. I've played the majority, but there are a few which I haven't. Next one up is Batman, which is Arkham Asylum. Now, I really like this game, but it's only recently that I've got into it. I remember downloading the demo off the PlayStation Network, because I was thinking of getting it for the PS3. I don't quite know why. But I was going to do that, and then I saw this. I think it was going in a bundle. Must have obviously been on one of my pickups video from a few weeks back, or a few months back, and it just worked out really cheap. I think, you know, $7, $8, and I thought that was crazy. So I had to buy it. I do like it. It is a little bit repetitive, but you could say all games are, really. So I do like it. I do want to get into it a little bit more than I have done. I think I've only done maybe 10-15% of the game. So yeah, kind of enjoying it so far, I've got to be honest. I am a bit of a closet Batman fan, so that's that one. Next one up is Bad Company. This is the gold edition. I don't know how much glare's coming off the screen, off the covers because of the light, but hopefully you can make all these out. Now this is the one with, like I say, the gold slip cover on here, and then the actual box. It's got the gold thing on there. I think the gold edition basically just has the DLC on the disc, so it's a bit of a swizz to release that as a full price game, really. But still, for collectors, I guess it's quite nice, and you know, I like these little slip cases. It's pretty good. Now, this is a really good game. It's obviously been superseded by Battlefield Bad Company 2, and I suppose maybe Medal of Honor, if you like. It's the same kind of game, and DICE made the multiplayer part on all 3 games, so they're all very similar. But I've not actually played this original one for a long, long time, because obviously, like I say, with the sequel coming out, which, funnily enough, I've got on the PS3, but with that coming out, I've tended to neglect the original. But it is a very good game, and I do want to go back to it just for the sake of achievements. Okay, so the next one up is Bioshock, and it's another one in a, as you can see, another one in a slipcover. So I don't know whether this is a particularly limited edition version or what. It doesn't indicate it anywhere on there that it is a limited edition, so I just think it's just maybe an alternative rather than just a standard case. Maybe there were ones which are issued, obviously, with this as well, with the slipcover. But yeah, a very good game. Now, I've got to be honest, I do feel it's a little bit overrated, if I'm honest, but I will confess that I've not played it that much, and I certainly haven't touched it in the past year. You know, but before that, I used to play it relatively regularly, but I only really played it when, you know, a particular friend came round, and because, you know, he was into it, and yeah, but I've never really been into it. But again, one for the future to maybe get back into. And the reason why I haven't bought the sequel is because I haven't really got into the first one yet. So I'm just kind of holding off, but I will obviously get it eventually. Now, speaking of themes, as I said a minute ago, like I've not really played games, there's a lot of games here which are still sealed, and which is pretty ridiculous. I'm not intentionally keeping them sealed. It just so happens that they are. I just haven't had time or whatever. But this one's, is it Blaze Blue? Calamity Trigger. So a beat 'em up. And I love my beat 'em ups. It's one of my favourite genres. Not my favourite, but one of my favourite genres. And this just looked really hectic from the back. I don't know if you can even work that out. Probably not. But I just thought I've got to get it. and it was sealed, and it was only about $10, so I thought, bargain. Next one up is one which I haven't played, but it's just a cheap and cheerful kind of game. It's Blazing Angels 2, Secret Missions of World War II. So just, I guess, a bit of an arcade flight kind of game. A shooter, if you like. It doesn't look particularly spectacular at all, so not particularly excited about that. Next one up is Banjo and Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. Not really got into this one, I've got to be honest, but I do love the original on the N64. Haven't yet played the sequel on the N64, but the original one, I absolutely loved it. It was a great platform game, and this for me doesn't quite live up to the same kind of expectations. But, I don't know, it's not really my thing. Okay, next one up, another one I just haven't played, and no interest in playing this in the slightest. Beowulf, the game. So I've not really got a lot to say about that. Blur, a great game. I have got a lot to say about this, but I've done stick my teeth in. I did a video of this maybe 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, maybe a bit less. So there's not really much more to say here, you know, other than it's a great game. And if you want to know a little bit more about it, if you want to see it in action, then just check out my video and you'll be able to see some gameplay. But an excellent game. Love the cover. In your face. There you go. You will buy it. It's like, you know, I'll convince you. Buy the game, buy the game. That looks pretty good. Anyway, that was extremely immature. Next one up is Brothers in Arms Hell's Highway. Now, I don't know whether I like this game or whether I don't like this game. It's more of a simulation, if you like. It's certainly not an arcade shooter. It's or tactical, I guess is the word I'm looking for. You know, you really got to be careful when you go around corners. You've got to look out for people. You've got to be very strategic, I guess is an even better word to use. It is good, but sometimes, you know, I just kind of yearn for that in-your-face arcade shooter approach, and this is not that. But it is a good game. Alright. Next up, I love this game. It's amazing. It doesn't get enough attention as far as I'm concerned, and it's Burnout Revenge. Just going round on them road rage events, and, you know, the road rage, knocking the cars off the road. I just think it's just, you just get such an amazing buzz out of it. Great game, and really cheap these days, because it's, you know, it's been out for about 4 years maybe? So it's an excellent game, and you have to get it. It's really good. And even though it's 4 years old, it doesn't really show its age. Alright, so now we move on to Call of Duty, the series, if you like. So the first one up is Call of Duty 2 Game of the Year Edition. I do have the Standard Edition lying around somewhere. There's also 2 or 3 others, which I don't know what I've done with them, but they are around. But obviously they're not going to be in this collection video, but they'll be in a future one. But this one, yeah, Call of Duty 2 is a great game. Not my favourite in the series, but certainly better than its sequel, Call of Duty 3. But I guess I'll touch upon that briefly in a minute. But once again, I actually did gameplay videos of all these Call of Duty games going back maybe a couple of months. So if you want to see a little bit more about them, hear a little bit more of what I've got to say, then check them out. But excellent game, and I still occasionally go back to this online, and it's fun. It's still fun. Okay, so next one up is Call of Duty 3. I think they kind of lost the plot with this one, I've got to be honest. So, yeah, not one of my favourites. That's that. And then there's 2 copies, as some of you with eagle eyes may have spotted, of Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the original, Call of Duty 4, I should say. Now, one of them is just the Standard Edition, and then the other one, with a darker cover, is the Game of the Year Edition, with an annoying little sticker that I've not taken off yet. Again, the only difference is that this one has the DLC on the disc. So the map packs, which I already had anyway, so this wasn't needed. So it's really just for the sake of the collection. But this is a great game. My favourite in the series, without question, the whole Modern Warfare. The whole Call of Duty, actually. I just love that game. Brings back so many memories. And a great game. Next one up is Modern Warfare 2. I don't even know where to begin with this, as I always say. It is a very solid first-person shooter. But it was more of the same. The series didn't evolve for me, quite frankly, and I was just pretty underwhelmed, to say the least. I've gone back to it a little bit lately, just for a laugh, just with a couple of friends online, but I'm not really enjoying it. I'm just playing it just for a bit of fun and using a noob tube, so that shows that I'm not taking it seriously. It's just really disappointed by it, but it is still a solid game. So that's that. In fact, really, I should have showed this game first, because this came out before. That's Call of Duty World at War. Now, I do like this, and I am still playing it. I go back to it occasionally. I just love the World War II setting. I know it's been done a million times before, but I do like it, and I thoroughly recommend it. But it's not everyone's cup of tea. It definitely isn't. I know that from experience, but I personally like it. Yeah, better than Modern Warfare 2 in my opinion. Okay, so next one up is the latest one, Call of Duty Black Ops. Now, I've not done a gameplay version of this. I don't really think I need to right away. Maybe in the future, you know, because YouTube is pretty saturated by Black Ops videos and montages. So there's nothing more that I could add to the equation. Yeah, again, got to be honest, solid first-person shooter, a pleasant enough experience. Single player I thought was pretty good. Not amazing, you know, just pretty good. A few bugs in there which are completely unacceptable for this day and age, but is becoming par for the course these days on games. And why is that? Is it me, or is there more bugs in this generation than there's ever been in the previous 15 years? It's crazy. But anyway, I digress. It is a good game. I am bored to the back teeth of playing this online, so I've just completely stopped. I will go back to it, but I imagine I'll go back to it once the DLC comes out. But for now, I am bored of Black Ops, and I don't know how anyone can play it constantly. It's just more of the same old stuff. Alright, anyway. Next one, Call of Juarez. Loved this game when it was released. So it's just a first-person shooter based in the Wild West. And yeah, I think it's pretty good. I've not played it for a long, long time. You know, I did complete it, and then I didn't really see a reason to go back to it. You can play it online, as you can do with obviously the majority of Xbox games. And I had a bit of fun with that, going back maybe 2 or 3 years now, I guess. But it is fun. I do like it. I do recommend it, but it's probably starting to show its age because it's a few years old now. Well, 3 years old. But I do like it. So, because I liked the first one, it inspired me to buy this one, Call of Juarez Bound in Blood, the sequel. Now, I've played only the first mission, and I just didn't like it. My biggest problem with the game was that it was too similar to the original. And as the original is, for me, so out of date already, the game engine, it just made this seem older than it is. You know, this only came out, I think, last year. Was it 2009? Let's have a look. I mean, I know we're nearly 2011, obviously, but yeah, 2009. So, really, I was expecting more. If you see it cheap enough, you might want to give it a chance, but I wasn't really that impressed. But that's coming from someone who's played, you know, one level of it, so I'm sure it'll improve. Nothing to say about this one, Conan. I've never played it, and it doesn't look like something I'll particularly enjoy. But I stand corrected, you know, maybe you're watching this and you're thinking this is a great game, give it a try. Another one I haven't played for a long, long time. When it first came out, this is Crackdown. When it first came out, I did play it. I hesitated to use the word addicted, but I was playing it for quite a long time, and then just stopped, and I haven't gone back to it since. And I know the sequel's out, but once again, it's a situation where I do not need to pay big bucks for the sequel, because I'm probably not going to like it. So when it comes down in price, or even pick it up used for $5, $6, $7, $8, I'll quite happily wait, even another year or two if I have to get it for that kind of price. But I like the cover. The artwork's very nice, and I like the spine with the blue. I know it sounds weird, it just kind of looks good. But need more blue spines. Next one up is a game which does not interest me in the slightest. What's it even called? Def Jam Icon. Is it that whole rap gangster thing? Yeah. Not my cup of tea, as they say, for many reasons. But who knows, I might give it a try and I might like it. Another one I haven't played. In fact, this is a lie. No, I have played it, but I didn't really like it. The Darkness. A friend of mine going back 3 or 4 years absolutely loved this game. He said, you've got to get it. I really recommend it. And at the time, we were playing Call of Duty. He was one of the people who we'd play regularly with online. And I used to work with him as well, so we knew each other in person, not just on the Xbox. And yeah, we were playing Call of Duty all the time, and he took a bit of a break from it because he got a little bit bored of it, as I guess we all did. And he said, you've got to get this, you'll like this. And I played it, I think I borrowed it off him, and I didn't really like it at all. And I couldn't really see the attraction, I've got to be honest. But, you know, again, like I always say, I'll go back to it, and maybe in hindsight I might appreciate it a little bit more. Next one up is Dead or Alive 4. Yeah, I think it's a pretty solid enough, decent fighter, but I don't know, it's starting to show its age a little bit, but I have had fun with it, and I did take it online. I just thought it was really weird. You go into this little sub kind of menu thing where all the little avatars walk around, and it just seemed really weird, but kind of very quirky and very Japanese, but I did like it. Yeah, very cheap these days. If you can find it cheap, I guess pick it up. Dead Rising. A really good game. Now, I do have the sequel on the PS3, Quite why I decided to buy it on the PS3 over the 360, I'm not quite sure, because I tend to use my PS3 for exclusives. But that's a decision I made for some reason. And then, funnily enough, no surprise, I haven't really got into Dead Rising 2. But the original I really liked back in the day, and I thought it was, coming from like a very casual zombie movie fan, then I appreciated that it's a little bit more. But I've not played it for a long, long time. Only picked it up recently, actually, because every time I ever looked for it on eBay, it was either completely overpriced, I'm talking like $15, $16, $17, $18, or if it was cheap, it was them dreaded platinum hits along the top and down the spine. And this one was the standard release. I believe off the top of my head it was $10 including shipping, or maybe it was even less. It was on a pickups video I did maybe a month or two ago. So I was pleased to get it finally, the non-platinum hits version, for around about $8, $9, $10. So yeah, thoroughly recommended and a really good game, which I really want to get back into before really playing the sequel. And last but not least, this is also one I've got on the PS3. Again, I don't know. Sometimes why I do this, it's insane. I should just stick to one format. But so I've never played this on the 360. Sure, it's a really good game and obviously very similar to the PS3. But I've just not got round to doing that yet. But yeah, if you're into these kind of games, like a bit of a role-playing game, a bit of think of like a God of War, I guess. That kind of thing. Dante's Inferno. They're all kind of similar. So yeah, cheap now. I think the sequel's coming out maybe next month. So anyway, guys, that's been over, I think, 20 minutes, or coming up to 20 minutes, which is completely ridiculous, considering I've just done one shelf. That's obscene. I've got another 3 to go. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make this, I'm gonna split it up into parts, because otherwise you'll have a ridiculously long video, and you may not want to sit through an hour of me babbling on. So that'll do for now, guys, and then when I come back for the second part, I'll do this second shelf here. So thanks for watching. Take care. See you soon.